Thank you so much for watching the 4 to 5 on this Friday afternoon. I'm Maddie Gardner alongside Eric Chilton. Of course, the show is all about informing you and making you feel connected.
Yeah, so make sure you jump into our Facebook room there. It's, of course, the WFMY News 2 Facebook room. We're also on YouTube and Twitter as well. Last night was a mess, folks. We saw thunderstorms, flooding, flash flood watches and warnings all over the place. The question now is, will we see the same thing tonight? And when you look at the numbers out there, we're not as hot as we have been, but that instability is still just lingering over us as that stationary front just kind of snakes across the Carolinas. We're in the low to mid 80s, depending on where you are, pretty much across the board for everybody today, except the higher elevations in the mountains where we're seeing some mid to upper 70s. Overnight lows tonight, about 70 degrees, but that'll be more toward the morning hours. We do see those scattered thunderstorms. Could be similar to last night. In fact, should be, with some flooding possible again wherever you get those showers. If they don't move a lot, you can get several inches of rain. It was a mess last night. 88 degrees tomorrow. Now, a much better situation for the weekend. We think will be mainly dry for Saturday, Sunday. Rain chances drop down a bit. Checking the radar right now, not active just yet. It was the same situation yesterday, though, and then it really just burst open as we headed into really that 5 to 8 p.m. time period. So we'll watch for that. Again, right now, most of it in the mountain communities, that will be up toward Boone and up to Jefferson and Allegheny, Ash and Watauga counties. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. Of course, as we head throughout the evening, things could change very quickly, and we'll be right here to keep you posted.
Today, new protections inside nursing homes as the coronavirus pandemic continues to impact us here in North Carolina. Dr. Mandy Cohen gave an update today focused solely on nursing homes. She announced testing will be required for all nursing home staff every 2 weeks. Before, this was a state recommendation. Now it's a requirement.
We want to do everything possible to keep COVID out of nursing homes to avoid having outbreaks in the first place. We know that COVID-19 can be brought into nursing homes by staff and visitors, delivery people, and other outsiders.
The state is going to cover the cost of nursing home testing through November. Now, Dr. Cohen also pointed out that progress is being made. This data shows that there are fewer people getting sick during an outbreak, and those outbreaks are shorter. Dr. Cohen says there is still work to do to protect those inside nursing facilities, and that's one of the reasons behind today's new order.
And in just a few hours, a chunk of Elm Street in downtown Greensboro will close for the first night of what they're calling street dining. This is pretty cool. It's just one way that local businesses are kind of hoping to stay afloat as we stay in phase 2 of the state's reopening plan. Restaurants can expand dining into the streets, and stores can set up sales all along the sidewalks. The owners at Little Brother Brewing say they anticipate a lot of to-go beer sales tonight. It's different than their usual way of business, but they are ready for the challenge.
It's been a little anxiety inducing because it's not normal, but for us as a company, it's what we're used to. The Little Brother is used to making do with what they got.
So the street dining and shopping will happen tonight and tomorrow, and if successful, could be expanded every weekend all month long. So let's take a live look in downtown Greensboro right now. Elm Street, by the way, will be closed between Market and Lewis Streets at 6 p.m. Tomorrow, the same thing will happen from noon until 10 p.m. In addition to restaurants offering outdoor dining, stores will also have sidewalk sales. Now, Winston-Salem is hosting something similar. This is happening tomorrow on 4th Street between Liberty and Spruce. That area will be closed from 5 to 10. 10 different restaurants are taking part in what that city is calling Streetery. Masks will be required until you sit down. The city held its first Streetery a couple weeks ago. It went so well, they're doing it again.
Let's jump right in with your 4 to 5 news roundup. Wake Forest Baptist Health is looking for coronavirus vaccine trial volunteers. The hospital, along with the company Javara, is ready for phase 3 of its trial. They need volunteers who are in the high-risk category for coronavirus. That means people who are older than 65, first responders, and those in minority populations. You also need to be older than 18 and have never been diagnosed with COVID-19. Still no deal on another stimulus bill. Democrats and Republicans met all afternoon trying to agree on a second round of relief. Now, if they can't agree, more than $100 billion to help reopen schools and another round of stimulus checks are at risk. Lawmakers were set to leave town this weekend for another recess, but they may stay at the Capitol to keep working until a deal is reached. We'll be sure to keep you updated as soon as we know more. Well, some good news on the job front. The Department of Labor released a new report today. 1.8 million jobs were added in June. It's promising news, but it's not as many new jobs as we saw reported in June. Experts say the growth slowed down because some states paused or reversed reopening plans. Another good sign, though, the unemployment rate dropped nearly a full percentage point to 10.2%. Hundreds of thousands of people in New York City woke up in the dark this morning. You can see a large chunk of Upper Manhattan dark because of an outage. The power was only out for just about half an hour, and you can see the moment when the lights come back on. This latest outage comes days after Isaias hit the state and left more than 1 million people without power, but today's outage was separate from those.
So cleanup from Hurricane Isaias is still underway along the North Carolina coast. Some of the worst damage in Bertie County, where an EF3 tornado left 2 people dead and more than a dozen injured there. Our sister station spoke with one of the firefighters who rescued 2 brothers that were trapped under the rubble.
Shortly after a tornado barreled through this mobile home park in Bertie County, Kevin Ellsworth and the Task Force 8 team were called in to search for survivors.
And I got the call at 3 in the morning. So as we got there, the storm was still in the area, high winds, heavy rains, visibility was low.
When they got to the scene, Ellsworth says they had 2 options.
Command wanted us to take a right and go to the trailer park. With the amount of trees that were on that right-hand corner, it was easier to search to the left-hand side. So something drew us to the left.
They trusted their instincts and took a left, fighting against the wind and rain. Ellsworth tells me they used chainsaws to cut through downed trees and clear a path.
And as we made our way down that road, that's where we came upon the trailer that was flipped over numerous times and leaning against one of the big trees that was down there. And as we approached, we did hear people yelling. So we knew somebody was in there.
The team followed those cries for help, climbed onto the mobile home, and rescued 2 brothers in their 80s.
As if we hadn't taken that left turn, instead of taking a right, bringing us to the trailer park, there's no telling how long they would have been there because those roads were impassable. So they could have been out there for hours and hours and nobody would have found them. So it was a blessing that we had turned left and went that direction.
Well, cleanup is still underway on Oak Island as well. Governor Cooper toured the damage there on Thursday. The Oak Island town manager said this will cost at least $9 million to make all the repairs. They hope to get a disaster declaration approved very soon. That would allow FEMA to come in and help get things done. All right, switching gears here. So you're having a film festival and you say a big star is going to show up, but you can't hold it in a theater these days, can you? What do you do? A local festival has the answer. We'll show you coming up. So the Riverrun Film Festival is one of the best in the country. It's based right here in the Triad. And of course, the virus has changed everything now. So how about a drive-in film festival? They did it in July. So I asked festival director Rob Davis, what is up for August?
Well, Rob, this sounds pretty cool. You know, I love how creative companies are having to be now to get their things to happen, but you've got two different ways for people to see the Riverrun Film Festival.
We came up with two ways to do it. One, we do have a virtual theater where people can go and stream some of the content online, and that's been very successful. But also, we're really thrilled about the screenings we're doing at the Marketplace Drive-In, because that kind of goes back to our festival model of sharing films on the big screen.
So Rob, let's talk about the movies. You guys, it sounds like a great lineup.
First up is a wonderful narrative that's a drama and a comedy. It's called Before, During, After, and it's about a middle-aged theater actress, and after 15 years, her marriage starts to dissolve, and she is dealing with that as well as with her career. The star of it is a young lady named Finnerty Steeves, and the wonderful thing about this is Finnerty's going to drive down from New York for the southeastern premiere of the film, and she'll be out in front of the big drive-in screen introducing the movie that night. And then our second film in August is a very powerful and very inspiring documentary. It's called John Lewis, Good Trouble. And the filmmaker, Don Porter, has just done a remarkable job in putting together a profile of this man's life, his activism, and his career in legislating for causes that are important to him. So we're thrilled to be able to share both of these films with their drive-in audiences.
This is going to be great. Hey, we get things done the way we have to these days. Thanks for taking time, Rob. We appreciate it. Good luck.
Hey, if you want more information, you can go to their website. I've linked you to that. That story is up and running right now on WFMYnews2.com. So I asked you on Facebook, what do you miss most about going to the movies, actually going to a theater and seeing movies? I thought popcorn would be number one, but a lot of people were creative. Let's take a look. Movie theater popcorn is what Linda said, but she said, and just that big screen and surround sound, it can't be replicated anywhere else. I also miss the normalcy of being in an audience. Very true. Amanda says, hearing other people laugh during a funny scene and never knowing what to expect on the big screen. Stephen Grace says the escape from reality. Yes, I'm with you on that. Rose says movie theater popcorn. Trip Turner with tongue planted firmly in cheek said spending over $100 for four to get in and buy snacks. I don't know, it might actually be close to 100. And Kathy Greer says, I miss other people's laughter. It's very cool. I got to say, the popcorn and that smell is number one, but there's just something exciting about getting in that theater and seeing all the previews and waiting for the big release.
Yeah, I think you're right about the previews. You're definitely right about the snacks, Eric. I've been asking people on our Facebook live stream, on the 4 to 5 live stream, if they've been to a drive-in recently, because this is the new trend, right? I say new trend, even though drive-ins are old. But people are saying not yet, but they want to. A lot of people saying not since the Mount Airy drive-in closed, which we know about.
The Bright Leaf, yes. I wonder if more drive-ins are going to start popping up, because once you've introduced people to that, because they kind of went away, and then now it's new for the younger people, and I feel like they might be like, hey, I love this, let's keep it around.
But I love that Riverrun is doing this, because just like the organizer said, I mean, these films are meant to be seen on a screen larger than your television, so this is a way to make that happen. And
I'll tell you real quick before I know we have to go, but they're having a big celebrity come in. It's somebody who was one of the stars in Orange is the New Black. They actually wrote and produced one of the films. She will be live at that drive-in, introducing her own film. So just another reason to go. Love a good celebrity appearance. All right, chat with us. We are live on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. You can find us anywhere. Just use that hashtag 4 to 5. We're talking with you during the break.
Hi, mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. I hear myself. Okay. Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 6. I don't hear myself. Good job.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. Well, training camps look different for NFL teams this year as organizations work to protect both players and coaches. The Carolina Panthers have new protocols in place to keep the organization coronavirus free.
Yep, and Amanda Ferguson is standing by. Tell us about the new safety measures that the team is taking this year, Amanda.
Maddie and Eric, Panthers players, tell me they're doing everything we're doing, using hand sanitizer, wearing masks, and social distancing. But they have a tool to make sure they're staying far enough apart.
Then we have these monitors walking around. Can't be too close to anybody. I think the precaution that they have around here, man, is it's crazy. It's overwhelming, but it's the right thing to do for this organization to try to keep us safe and COVID-free.
You can see players, they're all wearing masks as they walk up to the building, but then you get inside and practice. How do you social distance and how do the monitors work? I asked Panthers cornerback Dante Jackson about it.
But a lot of guys here are more proactive about it. So we kind of all just we don't even let the monitors tell us. Everybody's kind of staying away and, social distance. But if you get too close it just beeps red. We all kind of have a awareness to what we have to do because, like I said, everybody want to play this year. So we all been wearing our masks. We all been staying away, keeping our distance. So it's been some adjusting.
Covering the Panthers in person last season, I noticed a lot of the guys like to joke around. But when I asked this question to Dante Jackson, he was really serious. These guys really want to play, so they're doing everything they can to stay safe.
Amanda, thank you so much. I mean, yeah, she hit the nail right on the head, and so did Dante Jackson. They know if they want to have a season, they have to stay safe, and so I'm sure that they are all taking this pretty seriously.
I mean, and really they have to, not only for each other, but their families as well. So I think there's this is stressful for them because they've got double focus there on themselves, their family, and then also the team itself because they're very loyal to their team.
I like the idea of having a device, Eric, and automatically my brain is thinking, can we use this in other places? Can we use this in schools to keep students and teachers safe, knowing that eventually they're going to have to go back? I think that this is a smart idea. It's just a reminder, 6 feet.
And it's also, there's a lot of tech talk right now about thermal imaging and being able to detect temperatures when people just walk by the sensor. So we'll see how all that goes.
Yeah, very interesting stuff going on in Charlotte.
Yes. All right. From the sports world to the pageant world, that's where we're going. Now we talk to Miss North Carolina about how the pandemic has changed competitions, scholarships, and also how long will she wear the crown? That's coming up next. Well, everybody wants to know about the radar because that's kind of the big story yesterday and last night, flash flooding. Some areas, believe it or not, had 4 to 5 inches of rain. That's how much fell in certain spots. Now, not widespread, but it was isolated. Still, we could see several inches of rain again tonight if those storms sit over you like they did at times. Here's what we see on the radar right now. Most of it is back to the mountain and foothills and then to the east of us, but that's exactly the setup that we had last night, wasn't it? This front is just kind of lingering over our area, but it will push away probably overnight tonight. I think our Saturday and Sunday will be much different, more sunshine and drier for sure. You can see some of the thunderstorms now in Ashe County moving into Wilkes County. Overall, when you look at the big picture here, it's all across central South Carolina, stretching all the way up toward Raleigh and the Triangle, and then exiting up north toward Hatteras and up to Norfolk. We will watch this system again, as we mentioned, the stationary front kind of linger for a little bit, but as we head into Saturday and into Sunday, that high pressure to the north will take over, and it makes for a much better situation for our weekend. Here's how the long range looks. Saturday, Sunday is 88 to 90, mostly sunny. We'll see only a 20 or 30% chance of a late day shower, not a lot. Hold that into Monday, but we get warmer in the low 90s. Stay there through Tuesday, Wednesday, but rain chances afternoon and evening pop up. They're back to normal, a 40% chance. That's normal for us. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. A little cooler Thursday, Friday as we go into the upper 80s.
Who knows what may be in store? They may think they get 1 year of the best job in the world, and they get 2. So here we are.
Miss North Carolina Alexandra Badgett says she knew when she won the title in June 2019 it would be a memorable year, but she never dreamed that she'd hold the title for 2 years and during a pandemic. After making it into the top 15 of the Miss America pageant, her calendar was full of appearances across the state, all of them canceled because of the coronavirus. She was supposed to pass on the crown in June, but will now keep it until next June. That means putting her life on hold for another year.
I had a job offer in Houston. I was moving to Texas. I had plans, but I've always said one of my favorite sayings is "We plan, God laughs."
Now, even though they did not have a competition this summer, they're still giving out $35,000 worth of scholarship money.
That's beautiful for girls who were really relying on this organization for their scholarships for this next school year, to still be able to continue their education and not be so concerned about where the finances and have that financial burden on their shoulders.
And whoever is crowned the next Miss North Carolina will go on to compete in Miss America, which is tentatively set for fall or winter of 2021. It will be the pageant's 100th anniversary. Meanwhile, Miss North Carolina USA is tentatively set for next March.
Love this story. This is a sweet deal for all the teachers out there. So every back to school season, of course, they deserve our thanks, but especially this year, so many changes that they had to deal with. So Krispy Kreme is saying thank you to all of our teachers by giving them free donuts and coffee. You can't beat that. It starts on Monday. Teachers can show their ID at stores and get a free glazed donut and a cup of coffee. We have a link to all the participating locations. It's on our website, WFMYnews2.com. That's the least we can do for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I love when we roll that sweet glazing footage of the Krispy Kreme donuts coming through. I remember Krispy Kreme did this for nurses and members of the healthcare staff at the start of this pandemic. Same deal. So I'm glad that they're extending that offer to teachers now, because you're right, Eric, they have a lot on their plates this year.
And it's what we do. We show that glaze going over the donuts right before dinner time. Perfect.
Yeah. Usually it's you making me hungry with your food stories, but today I cannot blame you, Chilton.
It's not me.
I can blame the hot and now sign of Krispy Kreme. All right, more of the 4 to 5 is coming up after the break. Don't forget, we are live during the breaks on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, so join our conversation. Use our hashtag, the word 4, the number 2, and the word 5. We'll see you after this.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. We don't even have a update at 9:30.
No, is there any reason?
Hi, I'm just talking. I haven't had a Krispy Kreme donut in so long, and that actually makes my heart hurt because I love them. What? Courtney, my producer just said they're trash. Guys, no, she's from the north, so she's Team Duncan. She does not even know.
Courtney's fired. Alert everyone. Boy, you got Gardner all riled up. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mic check 1, 2, 3. Mic check 4 to 5. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. Mic check 1, 2.
Do you use the mic on your headphones or no?
No, but I can. Hold on 1 second. Okay, here we go, Jeff. Mic check 1, 2, 3. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 to 5.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. I'm Eric Chilton along with Maddie Gardner. We've got a lot to talk about today, Maddie,
Yes.
even though I didn't start talking right away.
I was like, cue, Chilton, cue.
Go.
It's
Go.
not Friday afternoon just yet. Like, you have to make it 30 more minutes.
It's close.
Okay, I'm going to keep Chilton in line, but of course we are here to inform you and make you feel connected as well as letting you into our world. We want you to join our conversation. Use our hashtag 4 to 5. All right, Chilton, you think you're ready enough to give us a forecast? Because we were dealing with some pop-up storms.
I'm going to give it a shot here. We'll see if my ADHD will kick in again. We're looking at 70 degrees for the overnight low tonight, folks. And yes, we do have a chance of those scattered showers and thunderstorms all across the area. I think it'll be similar to last night. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that the coverage isn't as great, but the front probably won't really clear us until overnight and into tomorrow morning. So look for a little bit of the same. Hopefully not as heavy with the rains, but it is possible. So we put on the graphic there, flooding is possible for us into the night tonight. 88 tomorrow will be mainly dry. Now we'll be on the back side of that front. So that's a whole different situation. We'll dry out a bit. There's still a slight chance. Anytime you're in the upper 80s, close to 90, you have to throw in a 20% or so for a late day pop-up shower. And so that possibility exists. But for tonight, kind of the same situation. We're seeing it more along the mountains and to the east of us, and we're kind of in the middle, but that will start to close in a little bit. The heaviest thunderstorm activity right now is trying to move its way into Wilkes County. So North Wilkesboro and Wilkesboro, watch out for that. You can see we're just generally unsettled all across the Carolinas with that stationary front. So 88 degrees for your Saturday, 90 on Sunday. Rain chances down, but still a slight chance. Back to a more normal situation for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. We're hover close to 90 degrees and each day a 40% chance of a late day pop-up shower or storm.
Well, today we are still in phase 2 of reopening. We were initially scheduled to move into phase 3 today, but Governor Roy Cooper ordered 5 more weeks of right where we are. So that means businesses are getting creative. In just over an hour, street dining will get underway in downtown Greensboro. Part of Elm Street will close so restaurants can expand outdoor seating into the street. Stores are also offering sidewalk shopping. Let's take a live look right now at the scene in downtown Greensboro. You can see there are some barricades set up, some tables outside of Crafted Art of the Taco there right on Elm Street. This essentially allows restaurants to seat more customers because they were limited to the 4 walls that the restaurant had and they were under limited capacity. But being able to move these tables out into the street will certainly help them seat more people and make some more money. So Elm Street's going to close between Market and Lewis Streets. That starts at 6 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow, the same thing is happening from noon until 10. And again, restaurants are offering outdoor dining. Stores will also have sidewalk sales. Well, also happening in just a few hours, doors will open at the Blind Tiger for live music. Music halls are supposed to stay closed in phase 2, but the Blind Tiger says they got a reopening plan cleared with local officials. Only about a fourth of the normal crowd size will be allowed inside, and all will have to sit at tables. Food will be served and masks will be required. While we're at it, let's get to some more headlines with your 4 to 5 roundup. Move-in is underway at North Carolina A&T State University, but things are going to look different this year. First, everyone is required to wear a mask. Only students are allowed inside, and school officials say no outside visitors, including family members, are allowed inside of dorms during move-in or any time during the fall semester. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo says students can go back into the classroom to start their school year. In an update today, the governor says current low case numbers mean kids are safe to go back to schools, but they will be required to wear a mask. Other large cities like Chicago, Los Angeles, Miami, and Houston will all start their years remotely. Tyler Perry has resumed filming on a new show at his production company in Atlanta. It's one of the first U.S. sites to resume filming. The studio has since been dubbed Camp Quarantine. Masks are required for everyone on set, and you have to test negative for the virus before you can work. They're also working with a reduced crew size to limit the number of people coming onto the set each day. And a Greensboro family is now inside of their new home, all thanks to Habitat for Humanity and other community groups. Habitat partnered with Our Lady of Grace Catholic Church to build this latest house. Construction started back in October, but it's now complete. They had a dedication ceremony this morning for the 4-bedroom, 2-bath home. Habitat for Humanity has built more than 500 houses in Greensboro.
You know, the crowds at college football games this year will be greatly reduced if they're allowed to even have them at all. But the staff at Wake Forest may have a workaround, and I think this could be the next big thing. I spoke with Assistant Athletic Director Rhett Hobart about their virtual season tickets.
Rhett, I do these interviews all the time, and everybody's doing virtual this, that, and the other, but I can say that I've never heard of a virtual season tickets with Wake Athletics. Tell me how this works.
Yeah, you know, we're excited. It's kind of we think it's a first of its kind type of thing as well, but, you know, we wanted a way to engage our fans in this unique year. And so it's really kind of put in place for three groups of people. Those who can't attend this year because of a condition that prevents them from wanting to attend due to COVID. You know, maybe when we are in limited capacity scenarios and opportunities that people who can't make it to the game for those situations, and then those who live in an area that can't get to Wake this year to Winston-Salem. And so it's a way for us to provide a really unique opportunity to keep our fans engaged.
So let's talk about what you get. If you get this virtual season ticket, then what happens on game day?
So our goal is to provide unique content, whether it's video, written pieces, photo features, and even live features throughout every game week. It will be amped up for home game weeks, but even for away game weeks, we're going to provide that same content as well. On game days, probably our marquee part of the program is a live pregame show that will allow you to really get the experience you would get if you were on campus enjoying a game at Truist Field. So you're going to see what's happening around the stadium, what's happening in the stadium. You're going to be able to watch pregame warm-ups. You're going to hear from Stan Cotton for his keys to the game. You're going to really get to experience some exclusive content going into the locker room.
You know, I got to say, you're onto something, and I probably can see this at all schools coming up, whether it's D1, D2. They're all going to get involved with this. Good luck with the program. Sounds awesome. You're a trendsetter, my friend.
And if you'd like to get tickets, and there is a free version, then a paid version, of course, you can check out all the information. I've linked you to it on this story on WFMYnews2.com.
We do not call for jury summons, missed court dates, that type of thing. We don't do that. And we sure don't ask for money over the phone in any manner.
Yes, and gift cards are never a real form of payment unless, of course, you are a
scammer.
Yes.
Or a fake person.
That's right.
No
yes.
utility company, no business. They're not taking gift cards as a way for you to pay a bill.
No, nobody does that, right? Have you ever said, you know, hey, telephone company, here's a gift card? No, they don't. But scammers use fear to make you forget all of that. The jury duty scam, it's going around again. Here's how it works.
The individual identified himself as a lieutenant, told the victim that you missed your jury summons, and now the judge has issued an order for your arrest. However, you need to go out and purchase gift cards in a set amount, and then When you get the gift cards, call us back here.
All right, so wait until you hear how the authorities were alerted that this scam was going around. Again, that's coming up on 2 Wants to Know at 6 o'clock. All right, here's a reason to smile. It is Friday. Okay, we got that. And Granny went skydiving.
It was more than I even dreamed. It was wonderful. And the jump out was fantastic.
Yes, I know Maddie and Eric said that they were too scared to skydive. I heard them talking about it, but this granny, she did it. And today at 5:30, it's one of the reasons to smile. We have plenty of stories that will bring joy to you. Don't miss ending the week this way.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. The U.S. COVID-19 death toll has now passed 160,000 people nationwide. New projection numbers used by the White House suggest cases may get even more grim by this winter. CBS's Chris Martinez reports from L.A.
A widely used coronavirus model projects the U.S. death toll could reach 300,000 by December. But researchers at the University of Washington say that number could be reduced if most Americans wore masks.
We are actually see that you could save, more than 65,000 lives in the U.S. through much higher mask use levels.
A new Gallup poll finds most Americans say they routinely use masks indoors, but less than half say they wear them outdoors when they can't socially distance. In Georgia, a student at North Paulding High School was suspended for posting a photo showing packed hallways and few students in masks. In California, co-workers mourned the loss of EMT Aldo Iniguez, who died after a month-long battle with coronavirus.
He was just a good guy. He just loved doing this job.
As the death toll climbs past the 10,000 mark here in California, the focus is intensifying on finding a vaccine. On CBS This Morning, medical contributor Dr. David Agus says a vaccine wouldn't eliminate the virus.
It will, in many cases, make it so you're not symptomatic. In other cases, where you would have been hospitalized, you'll just have a bad cold. And I'll take that any day of the week.
2 U.S. companies started their Phase 3 vaccine trials last week. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
A big event that health officials are keeping an eye on today, the annual Sturgis Motorcycle Rally in South Dakota. It's expected to draw as many as 250,000 people. This is video from last year's event, and you can see just how popular it was.
Well, as you just heard, health experts, of course, they're working in dozens of studies, just trying to learn as much as they can about the coronavirus. In Tennessee, families are now starting to get involved. This family takes a swab test twice a month. The goal is to learn about how children and teens are infected and how kids actually spread the virus. Health experts agree this is one of the big questions, especially with some schools getting ready to welcome people back.
It's important because of opening daycare centers and schools and protecting our children and the individuals who work with our children in the schools. And so understanding and knowing their role in transmission is important for these reasons.
So far, the data shows that children are less affected by the virus than adults, but they can still get it. And when they do get it, the concern is that they can spread it to adults, not even knowing they're doing that, who can then sometimes become infected with a more serious situation.
Interesting. Well, when it comes to masks, dozens of states now require people to wear one when they're out in public. You know, it's the case here in North Carolina. It's also the case in Illinois. Well, today the governor there announced new protections for those who deal with people who don't wear masks. Workers who have to enforce a mask requirement will now be protected if they're attacked.
This legislation also offers protections from assault for retail workers, many of whom are tasked with asking the public to follow certain COVID mitigation measures indoors. In many ways, these workers are now serving at the forefront of public health mitigation efforts in encouraging social distancing and the use of face coverings.
Well, in addition to protecting workers, the governor also announced possible fines for businesses, schools, and child care centers that repeatedly fail to enforce that statewide mask mandate.
So another big question surrounds how the virus could impact the election in November. Recently, you've heard words like mail-in ballots or absentee voting being thrown around. So what is the difference and how would each of those work? We had our Verify team look into the claims.
The president has come out against mail-in ballots, calling them a, quote, formula for rigging an election, but he's shown support for absentee ballots. So we wanted to verify, are absentee ballots different than mail-in ballots? We checked with the National Conference of State Legislatures, the Electronic Registration Information Center, and multiple state boards of elections. Now, according to the National Conference of State Legislatures, absentee ballots have to be requested. 29 states let any registered voter request one without a reason, but 16 states require you to have a specific reason why you can't cast your vote in person, like military service or business travel on election day. Then that request has to be approved in order for you to actually get your ballot. That leaves mail-in ballots, a small group of states that automatically send all registered voters a ballot, whether they request one or not. The NCSL calls these all-mail voting states, and these are the processes that the Trump administration has been challenging, like in Nevada right now. The Trump campaign is suing the state after they passed a bill that would automatically send ballots for the November general election to all registered voters. Bottom line, claims that absentee ballots are different than mail-in ballots are true, but there's only one difference. And that's how you actually get the ballot in the first place. Regardless of what name you use, all ballots are treated the same once they're in the mail. With your Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.
All right, still ahead, Cam Newton left the Carolinas, and for the first time, we're hearing from him as a New England Patriot. My heart. What he had to say about the upcoming season is coming up next.
Georgia. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. Mic check 4 to 5. Mic check 1, 2, 3.
Sorry, I thought I had my camera mic on. I did not. I can hear myself. We should be good now. Let's see how the lighting is. Am I too hot, or is that good? Okay. Let me talk. I was saying I agree with Chilton. Oh, my heart. I cannot hear myself. Well, I'm torn. I really want Cam. That's fair.
Welcome back to your 4 to 5. It's just a breath of fresh air. Those were the words from former Panthers quarterback, now Patriots quarterback Cam Newton. He spoke to the media for the first time today as a Patriot. And WFMY News 2's Luke Liddon has more on what he shared. Luke?
Yeah, Maddie, I think it'll always be a little weird to see Cam Newton in a Patriots jersey or even just around the logo itself. Now, it seems he's turned a new chapter in a sense, turned a new page, and he's on to the next chapter in his life. And from the press conference, he seems to be in great spirits about his new situation and team in the New England Patriots. Now, we all know Cam Newton is quite a character. It's no secret about that. From his lavish personality and wardrobe, it's really not quite Bill Belichick's style, the head coach of the Patriots. But Newton doesn't sense working together with his new head coach will be a problem, and he has his own drive to make this upcoming season a success.
I'll just say that there's a perception, but at the end of the day, it's football. I've loved it ever since I've been here. I've been here going on a week now, and you hear rumors about certain things, but once you finally get settled in on things like that, none of that really matters. It's just all about finding a way to prove your worth on a team.
So I have some mixed emotions. I want Cam to do really well. I'm a Cam Newton fan. I just don't want his team to do that well. Is that possible at all? As for Cam Newton's thoughts on leaving Carolina, we'll have those thoughts and what he says about that coming up during sports at 6 o'clock, so I hope to see you then.
I am with you, Luke Liddon. Call me what you want. It's going to be tough to pull for the Patriots for me, I can tell you that. But I do love Cam, so we'll see how it goes. All right, let's talk about a forecast radar-wise. That's kind of what we're all watching, right? Same story as last night. It looks like maybe not as heavy, but we still run that risk. So I'm not going to say we won't see that. We could. Most of it right now in the mountain communities, we're seeing a little bit of it start to sneak back into the area. So not so much right across the heart of the triad. We'll keep you posted, and we'll be here, of course, to guide you into the night with all of this. For the weekend, much drier, 88 to 90 degrees. Lots of sunshine. Rain chances are down, only at 20 to 30%. Back to a normal 40% for Tuesday through the rest of next week, for the work week at least. And highs will be a smidge warmer. We'll be in the low 90s from Monday through Wednesday and upper 80s for Thursday and Friday.
All right, well, we all love to celebrate those random and wacky national days. You know what I'm talking about. Well, today is one that North Carolinians are sure to love. It is National Lighthouse Day. So the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse is one of the most popular in our state. But do you remember it wasn't always in the spot it's in now? It had to be moved back in the 1990s because of beach erosion. It took 23 days to move, getting pushed back 5 feet at a time. And get this, not a single brick on the lighthouse was lost during the move. So Eric, I have to tell you, I've lived in North Carolina my entire life, never left, never seen one of our lighthouses. I'm getting some heat for this on Twitter, especially from meteorologist Tim Buckley, who tried to revoke my North Carolinian card.
You have to see it. I love the lighthouses. It's one of my favorite things. And as we said, we know that lighthouses, they're pretty popular on the North Carolina coast, even though Maddie hasn't been. We'll take care of that. We wanted to see your favorite pictures, and we asked you to share them on our Facebook page. Our digital guru, Brian Bennett, is in the house today talking about what you've been saying about lighthouses, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely. And just for the record, Maddie, sadly to say, you're not alone. I haven't either, okay? But we're going to make that happen. Anyway, let's jump into your favorite lighthouses. Kenneth says, Body Island Lighthouse is his favorite. Claxton says, though I do love the lighthouse at Cape Hatteras, I'm partial to Cape Lookout. The paint scheme isn't just for looks. Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley says, happy Lighthouse Day, everybody. We have some great ones here in North Carolina. Indeed, we do. Oh, look, it's our super digital producer, Megan Allman. She says, I love them all, but there was just something about the Cortuck Lighthouse, charming old red brick, and quietly watching over the beautiful little town of Corolla. Now I want to go back to the Outer Banks. Lastly, Ruth says Cape Hatteras Lighthouse is her favorite. Of course, that is a popular one, as we stated earlier. Eric, I already know what you're going to say, man.
Yeah, we're going to get y'all down to the coast. We got to show you these things. It's awesome. The one at Corolla that Megan was talking about, I have not seen, and I would love to see that one. Okay, we're going to go to break. Maddie's not talking. She's all right. We'll be right back with my 2 cents. Stick around.
Hello, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Mic check.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie.
Hi there. Wow, no lighthouses. Why not? Everyone should go see the lighthouses. Let's leave right now. Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing. A. Chilton is a hater. I wasn't on camera. My mic wasn't up, so I couldn't respond. And I want to see the lighthouses. I just haven't made it down there, out there yet. If
interpreted that was, Maddie has never been to a North Carolina beach. Like, how, hi, I'm here. Like, how is this
Is it going well? I know this is the first show, and I think this guy needs a little support. Dave Letterman.
You know, one of the things that I used to love was David Letterman's top 10 list. I thought they were hilarious. So, lower budget here. I can only afford 5. Here is your top 5 list of things said in a pandemic that wouldn't have made sense before. So think about hearing this before all this mess. Ready? Drum roll, please. Thank you, Paul. Number 5, don't hug your mother. It's not safe. Wouldn't have made sense. Number 4, hey, I've got an idea. Let's go talk to Granny through the window. Wouldn't have made sense. Number 3, it's just so thoughtful when waiters wear latex gloves. Weird. Wouldn't have made sense. Number 2, that Johnson boy is so respectful he won't shake anybody's hand. Didn't make sense. And the number 1 thing said in a pandemic that would not have made sense before, of course I'm wearing a mask to go in the bank. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So there you go, my top 5 list, extremely low budget. We gotta have some fun, right? But that's just my 2 cents. And that's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
The clouds started clearing out this afternoon in Greensboro, but that does not mean we are out of the woods yet.
No, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley tracking that radar. So Tim, what are the chances that we will see more storms tonight?
Yeah, pretty good chance we're going to have more storms popping up over the next few hours, but I want to let you know,